Hello and welcome back to another episode of Turnbull's Threads. It's been a hot minute. Yeah. So, I know I missed September because I can't remember if I did August. I might have done August. I know I didn't do September. I missed it, and then it got midway through September and I was like, oh, I'll just do it in October. And then October rolled around. And things happened with many things. And then, yeah, it's been a hot minute. So, figured, let's do this now. We'll probably put it up basically once I finished it. And I mean, it is most of the way through October. I don't know. We'll see what happens in November. I would like to do one in November. If not, hopefully early December. Let's try and be slightly better with my schedule. Yay! So, it's been a while. Life's interesting. Part of the reason why we've had the issue is because of job-related things which have not resolved due to outside forces. So, we'll see if people can get their act together so that I can go back to work. If they can't get their act together, it'll be a little while still. But that has made life interesting. Other than that, not a ton is going on life-wise, except for like the whole job thing, which I guess is pretty big. That's like half of my, it's generally more than half of my time. So, job is going interestingly. Not allowed to work, really, currently. So, here's that. In the meantime, let's talk about the things that I have done. Well, due to said job situation, I've been looking at alternative methods of earning some money. With that in mind, we're going to start with finished items, and a number of these are finished items that I plan on either selling at my local needle workshop or putting on my Etsy store. I need to take pictures and then upload them and everything. But objects that have been completed to sell to other people. So, with that in mind, I have a number of finished items. I have many, many finished items, actually. So I've been making a bunch of needle minders. Are we gonna... And we may or may not focus. Okay. Is that just too close? Is that it? We're just having issues focusing, aren't we? Well, so there's one. There's a lot of these. So since we're having problems focusing, we're just going to go through them pretty fast. A number of them are doubles, but I've got a little birdie. A fun R2-D2. Don't push my buttons. Ooh, that one, another bird, and another flower. So, but that's not all. I have even more. More R2-D2 ones. That one. Princesses on a button. And then I think all of these are doubles of the ones that I showed previously. And then BFF. And then obviously more of replicates of certain ones. So, yes, these need to go to these need to get pictures taken of so that I can put them on my website or on Etsy so that hopefully I can sell things and make some extra cash. In addition to that, I have figured out and made a bunch of Graym cards. So this has actually taken up a good chunk of my time. Because what? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 that are finished in a Wonder Woman print. I made some Maleficent ones, some Mulan ones, a couple of Lemon and Patriotic ones, which went to my local needle workshop. These I don't know. I think I'll end up putting these online and seeing how they go. Yeah. So those are finished items, and then my final thing that I've made that, so these were supposed to be scissor fobs. They're really cute. There's a pink with a little cupcake. Beep. Oh my word. Okay. Do I have it on? I thought I had it on autofocus. Okay, I think it's on autofocus, but it's just not doing what I want it to do. So there's a pink one with a little cupcake on it. I have a seashell, another seashell, and then very, very cute little scissors. So these were supposed to be scissor fobs, but the clasp that I used for it, my lobster clasp, is too small to go around scissors. So these are going to be now zipper pulls, and I need to figure out how I'm going to package them so that they can get sold as well. I do have a lot more beading stuff, so I'll probably go ahead and make some, I am going to make some scissor fobs to go to the store as well as to put online, but my first ones did not work out so well, so they're going to become zipper pulls. So that is all of the things that I finished to sell places. I also have a number of things that I finished in my regular crafting thing, because it's been 2 months. It's been a little while. So I don't remember if I showed this or not, but I did finish one of my test knits, my shawl, and it is gorgeous and really soft, and I love it, and it's very lacy. Very fun lace one. So one lace shawl done. In addition to this lace shawl, I also knit another shawl. I'm pretty sure this one did not show up at all. So this one is the Summer in Florence shawl. The other one, I don't remember what the name is off the top of my head. Let me look it up, because I do have these on my Ravelry page, so I can find them again. Save that. Save. My Rav. Sands of Sight. That is it. The Sands of Sight shawl, which is a gorgeous shawl, and I really enjoyed it. This is the Summer in Florence shawl, Jennifer Estep, and like, oof. It was a lot of fun to knit, and I got to use up most of a mohair ball, the rest of this green color. Ended up having to buy another ball of blue, but it is a very, very dark blue. So even though it is technically a different color and a different yarn, you can't tell too much at the edge of the bottom. And like, because of the contrast, it looks almost black. Unless, of course, you were to hold it up against an actual black thing, and then you'd be like, oh, that's not black, that's dark green. But enjoyable knit. I have used it not like a ridiculous amount, but I have used it a little bit. It's quite nice. Quite happy with it. Okay, so that is those finished items. I also have some stitching finished items. I have been very, very busy. So I have three finished things, I think. So this one is almost fully finished, right? I've got it cut out. It is in its final hoop, so it needs to be sewn around and then like a backing added to it. But Snack-O-Lantern by Boomerang Stitches. I did do, it's on, I think, White Pine by Fabric Flair, and I used most of the called for colors except for the ecru. Instead of ecru, I used a glow-in-the-dark DMC. So all of the candy, like all of the sticks glow in the dark. I did change out the raccoon's eyes to glow in the dark. And for the pumpkin, that 347, I did a half stitch on top of the 3799 in glow in the dark. So like the pumpkin slightly glows in the dark, and then the eyes and the candy canes glow in the dark. He's cute. It's actually going to be a gift for someone, but quite happy with that one. So that one's done. The other one that I finished is this. Foxes and Leaves. It's a Riolis kit. And it was so much fun. I loved it. Oh, for people who are interested, that's what my back looks like for the pumpkin. It's adorable. I need to figure out what I want to do with it. I'm thinking of making, like, adding it as maybe a piece in, like, a project bag and doing something like that. But we will, or like a project folder maybe. We'll have to figure that out though. But I love the foxes. They're so cute. And the leaves are just amazing. And a lot of this is like, if you don't have the back stitch, it does not look nearly as good. The back stitch makes this project. Likewise, there's my back. I'm so happy. And then my most recent, so start and finish since the last time I talked. Also, another start and finish since the last time I talked. So I also did this one, another kit. This was a DesignWorks kit. Joan Elliott design. Friendship isn't a big thing, it's a million little things. It's mostly black work. There's a little bit of cross stitch. Fun, quick, easy. I took it with me because I was going to travel somewhere. So that is all my finished and fully finished items, which is it's a good chunk. Yeah. Surprised how much. But that is not all. After all, what things have I started or worked on since we last talked? There's been a bit. So now that I've gone through all of my finishes, let's talk a little bit about my whips, my works in progress. So I have my Mill Hill button and beads kit, very Halloween-y with the little kitty. I do not remember how far I had gotten last time. I know recently I've only put in a couple of stitches, but I'm doing it on the perforated paper, called for colors, everything from the kit. Got the kitty cat done, got the outside, figured out that I was not in the center when I started it. Yeah, it wasn't that far off, but I was not in the center. So when I finish it, I'm gonna trim the excess so that it is in the center. And then I need to figure out what I'm gonna do with it. Because it is on perforated paper. So so I don't really want to put it in a frame. I might be able to like find a notebook or something like that and like make it a part of a like notebook cover maybe. I don't know. I'll have to think on it. So, future thoughts, but I've got some of it started. This is a full coverage, so the entire thing is basically going to get covered. Yeah, you can see on there. Totally covered. Everything is stitched. So, that's fun. I did start a new craft, and because it is on the frame and I don't want to... bug. I don't want to take it off the frame. We're going to do this really weird. But I started actually a beading project. So if you haven't been able to tell from some of my projects, I do enjoy beading. I enjoy a real good bead. So I got several totally beaded kits where like they print everything on the canvas and then you bead it. No cross stitch whatsoever. And I started one. And yes, it is fun. It also hurts my fingers, so I don't do it. I can't do it as long as I could do, say, a cross stitch. So I do like a thread, like a length of thread, and start the next one for a little bit. And then put it on pause, unless I'm feeling really good, and then I might get 2 lengths of thread done, but then my fingers are destroyed for a little bit. Fingertips are destroyed for a bit. So, that being said, I like how, like, it's looking pretty good so far. I'm quite happy with it. So, let's do the really awkward. I have it on the frame, so yay! So, yeah. So I have beaded this here, and that leg, like up to here, this leg, the main body, and part of these. Like, that is not beaded at all. This isn't beaded. But there's going to be so many beads on here when I'm finished. It's quite cool. And then I do have, so before I put it on the scroll frame, because it's just an awkward size. It's not truly big enough for this, or the right size for this scroll frame. The scroll frame is too long, but I don't think I have any others that are shorter. So the length of the scroll frame, like the rigid bars, not the turned ones that you can actually tighten, or you wrap your fabric around, the actual like lengthwise bars are too long. And I have 2 other scroll frames and I have the same problem with them. Their length is just too long for it. So I put it in there. I had originally thought I was going to use some stretcher bars. The problem with the stretcher bars is that the design goes too far out, and so the stretcher bars, like the area in the center, is too small for the actual design. So I have stretcher bars for it. When it is finished, I will be able to like immediately put it on and get everything tacked down. But it does mean that it is not taut, which is slightly problematic as I'm doing this. Because since it is a canvas and not like linen or Aida or any other type of Evenweave, right, there's no holes. So your needle is sharp, which is part of the problem why my fingertips end up being very sore, is because you have a sharp needle, it's very thin, that you're pushing through some pretty tough fabric, because not only is it a canvas, but it's a printed canvas, so you have canvas and then you have like a layer of essentially printed paint on top of it. So it's very thick. It is something that you kind of have to push through. So you're putting a bunch of effort as you're getting through it. So long thin needle kills my fingertips. But it would go so much better if it was taut, because like then it's a lot easier to push your needle through something that's taut than it is something that is loose and kind of wavy. And so because the stretcher bars are not long enough and I cannot put tension on said piece, and so because I can't like even tug on either end of it, they're like the ends of it barely stay within the stretcher bars. So because of that, yeah, fun stitch. I enjoy this. I don't enjoy the fact that my scroll frame is not the right size for it, and so it's not taut and it's not working the way I want it to work. But such is life. So I'm not even halfway through. I still have a lot of beading to do, but I am excited to work on the beading because it looks so good and it's shiny and it's beaded and it's fun. It is fun. I did end up having to like totally undo a large section of it because that like main body, I wasn't sure how I was supposed to be doing the beads on it. So the ovals that they have, what you do is you put your thread through the lengthwise of the oval instead of this way of the oval. So I had originally done like a thread and a half of it the opposite way. So it didn't line up nicely like it does now. Which when I looked at the picture of it, I was like, oh, yeah, I need to undo that. So I had to take it all out, which was horrible. I hate doing that. But it looks so good. It looks really good now. And now I'm very happy with it. And I can't wait to get more of it done. I don't know that I'll have it all done by the time that I talk with you guys next. Probably not. But I should have more of it done by the time I get to talk to you guys next. So look forward to seeing more beads. It'll be fun. So another project that I'm in the middle of that not knit, cross stitch, or knitting is actually more Graym guards. Yay, more styles. I looked at instructions online on how to do it. They give you some like basic guidelines, like this is how you figure out what sizes you want to make, which is what I did. How I figured out lengths and widths for these guys. And then I like to do, I think it's French seams. So you basically end up enfolding your raw edge for this one in the center. So you do it first right side or your right side's sewn across, and then you flip it out, and then you sew the wrong sides together, and then go through and like fold, and then fold again, press down, sew your channel for your elastic on the top, bottom, put the elastic through, finish sewing up your channel, and then you have a Graym guard. So yeah, fun use of sewing. I still have that one sewing project, and I would like to actually do some more sewing. This is the fun fabric. Isn't it pretty? Perfect Christmas ones. Now that I have talked about them. Let's put them over there. I do plan on actually doing some more sewing projects. I have some fabric that I just ran through the, well, I put it in the dryer a week ago. I need to probably redo that. Dry, well, check and see how dry they are and then have it go through the dryer again so that maybe they're, hopefully it's not too bad and there aren't a ton of wrinkles, but we'll see. We'll see. I haven't touched it. Yeah. It's so much fun. So I do actually have a number of, I have three or four that I want to make. Well, I want to make some 3/4 length and some long sleeve dresses because I have plenty of short sleeve, no sleeve dresses, but I don't have that many long sleeve dresses or 3/4 length sleeve dresses, and I could use more in my wardrobe. Therefore, I need to sew some of them, don't I, in order to give me some. So, yeah, need to do that. The first one I did, I used a pattern for, wasn't quite the right size. I think I'm going, we'll have to see. We'll see what I do. So I thought based on my measurements that it needed to be a little bit bigger. I don't think I think I can go down a size actually on it. Just because of how much extra, like I need to pull the armholes up. Like I need to take out room there. I need to take out a bit of room around the waist. I did put my pockets too low on that one. So I like the style of the dress, but the way I did it was not right. So I'm thinking that I'm going to retry it. I'm probably going to do, well, do I want to do long sleeves or do I want to do 3/4 length sleeves? I don't know. I'll think about it. But I might do some measurements on myself to try and see, like, length, etc. And I also would like to, like, try some different patterns. Well, maybe some patterns as well. But try freehanding it. Do some math it, and try and make some more things so that I have some dresses, and there'll be dresses with pockets, and it'll be like fabrics and styles that I like, so I will probably be more likely to wear it. There's also that. So that was my random side tangent about sewing things. Yeah. Slightly side tangent-y. Let's see. I have a bunch of... Let me pull out the couple of knit projects that I have, because I don't have to do many that I have stuff to work on. So the first knit project is my Cloud cardigan by Veronika Lindberg. It's a good mindless knit. Yeah. I have a lot more to go. It needs to be like 11 inches, and this is probably like 6, at least a minimum of 11 inches, because it's a bottom-up construction. So it's still got like 6 more inches or so that it needs to go up in order for it to like reach the armholes that I want it to have for the length. Not my favorite yarn, not the worst yarn that I've worked with. It's very, it's fluffy, but it's very sticky to itself. I think the worst thing about the yarn is that it's no longer in a ball. let me show you the mess that it has become. This used to be a ball of yarn. This is no longer a ball of yarn. Yeah. This is very much no longer a ball of yarn. Yeah, there it is. All of that. So. And I haven't found the other end, so I'm not making it into a new ball of yarn. We're just going with it. Going with it. Hopefully I can knit somewhat fast and get more of it done. That way the sad state of the yarn doesn't end up making a bunch of knots and tangles. 'Cause that would be so much fun. It's what I always love to do with my projects, is untangle things. Not my favorite part of things. So yes, I know I am like deliberately making knots with my yarn to create said projects, but it's like very specific places where those knots go. It's not like random knots. Random knots means that you have to unknot the knots to make the proper knots. Not as fun. I don't have as many, but Baby Beanie, still got those going. They've made a lot more of them. I have this one, which is my adventure backpack, which I have now finished the bottom and the sides. We've got the back done, and we are now working on the front, which is a good thing because this is all the yarn that I have left. So we gotta make it. It'll have to work. It'll have to work. So, yep. Got to make the front so that it matches the back. And yes, front to the back. So that. That's how much I have left to knit. So a good portion of it. It is a pattern on the front. I've just started it. So it ends up having like these little X's or crosses showing up in the front. Yeah. I don't like knitting it as much because of the itty bitty. These are size. Ooh. Where's these are 1 millimeter, US size 1, so 2.25 millimeter needles. They're very itty bitty, teensy tiny, so you feel you're knitting for ages. I don't mind it so much with the one strand, but for at least the bottom and like that section, right? It's all, I doubled up on my yarn because that's what the pattern calls for, to like give it some structure, because it does make a very thick and very tight gauge fabric, which you want on a bottom of a bag. But it's also a pain and horrible to knit on sharp 1 millimeter or US size 1 2.25 millimeter needles. That not my favorite thing. So that was a slog. Should be faster now. I do need to like actually work through the actual pattern that is. So that's where that is. Don't know if I'll work on it by the time I come back to y'all. I do have a new one that I did cast on, which I'm going to totally rip this out. So I will show you what I have and tell you that it is going to go away. So I believe it is the Mobius sweater by Petite Knits, I want to say. It's a fun color work. I really love the color. I do love this yarn. I do not like the way her pattern starts. And I object to it strongly enough that I'm going to rip this out and do it the way I think it should be done. So, yeah. Mild distaste for how it started out. Mild. Very strong distaste. So she has you cast on and then cut. And then she wants you to do short rows based off of that cast on, which is... maybe she has some vision for it, but I find that incredibly stupid. It's not working. I despise it. I don't like how it's working out. And then because it's a cast on and you're doing that, you're setting yourself up for some issues later on, which I don't want to set myself up for. Because like it is a cast on that's you're doing short rows for, so it's like it doesn't have the stretch that I would typically want in certain areas, which that like maybe that's part of the reason why she did it, was to create more structure, but it's really not an ideal way to go about it. Like seams do create some structure, right? They help structure a garment and make it very sturdy. But like this cast on plus seams doesn't, like, you wouldn't do that. You would do one or the other. And I haven't read through the entire pattern. Maybe she's like, maybe you're picking up stitches off of the side, and so you're essentially doing faux seams, which will create some structure, not as much structure as say a seam would if you were to like knit something in pieces and sew it up, right? Because if you knit something in pieces and sew it up, it has more, like those seams that you do in it will create more structure, and it does help limit how the garment can shift, right? Because it can't shift in all directions because it's not all one piece. It is separate pieces that are seamed together, right? So one piece can shift in a certain way, another piece can shift in a certain way, and then they're attached together by a seam. And that seam helps anchor both of them so that they can't, like, even though they can both move and they can still both move in somewhat relation to each other, that seam helps limit some of that movement. Unlike a lot of the things that I make, which are in the round. So if you knit in the round, right, your whole thing is connected to each other. Because the whole thing is connected to each other, it is not as structured, and so it can shift a lot more. So why I'm talking about that is because of the cast on, right? It's tight along that cast on. And then everything will come out from that. But that's like, that can be a good thing, maybe, but it's also tight, right? And so it's not going to have as much shift or as much stretch, and yeah, I don't like it. I also think it's a stupid way to increase. I mean, you're technically not increasing, you're doing short rows underneath it, but like, right, you're also going to tighten, like everything's going to go against the tight cast on, which I don't like and I think is stupid, and so I'm changing it. So yes, I'm going to rip this out and do it the way that I think it should be done. I didn't think I was going to do that when I started it, but I started it and I got like an hour and a half in, and I was just, no, I don't like how this is going. I'm going to do it the way that I think it should be done. So we will rip this out and start again. And instead of doing her stupid cast on method, cast on all the stitches and then do short rows, what we're going to do is we're going to cast on the short amount, and then we're going to increase until it is the correct size. Like, so some minor modifications will be happening in this pattern. We'll see how it goes. But I do have a very fun, I think this is apple something. This is Vitelane Tweed Lee Street in like apple. And it looks so cool, and I am very happy to be using this to make a fun Aran type sweater. So that is all my knitting. Let's go into my cross-stitch projects that I have been working on. So I did start a new one. Marie Congden's Earth one. She has a Sea Creatures. I started it. I did continue it. It is a dark fabric though, so it's one of those limit. I do have lights now, so I probably could use some of my nice lights. But it is somewhat limited on how and where I can work on it, because since it is dark fabric and it's a hemp cloth and not a Evenweave or an Atis, so the holes are not big. The holes, in fact, are very, very small. And since the holes are very, very small, because it is woven fabric, and it is a dark navy woven fabric, it means that I have problems finding where my needle needs to go if I don't do it with the proper lighting. So working at night is much more difficult. I am a night owl. Guess what that means? It's so much more difficult for me. It's very sad. So that's that one. I did work a teeny tiny bit on the Prairie Schooler, the Breman Town Musicians. I got my rooster head and tail done. Not the body, just the head and the tail. That's all I got. Obviously, not a focus piece. Fun. Haven't really touched it since. I don't know. Yes, I've worked on this. This is my, where is it? I think it goes this way. So I have a Liberty Angel that I started for the 4th of July. I've gotten that much done. Not a ton. I need to work some more on it. Speaking of, starting things, where did the backing of this, oh, there it is, found it. I have one that I am going to start. I have my center picked out. So since I finished my foxes and my friendship, I have a set of like smaller projects that I am keeping to start. And I love this one. It's the Riolis kit, and it's called Book Evening. And it's a cat with a Tiffany lamp with books in the background. It is so, so, so me. I am so excited about this one. I saw it and was like, oh, like books, cats, pretty lamps, like Victorian, like my aesthetic, me. So I found the center. Granted, this was, since I finished the friendships one, like literally this morning, finding the center, not terrible progress for starting a new thing. So it's in its hoop, it's got the center. I will probably actually put some stitches in tonight to get it started, because this will be my like break piece when I don't want to think very hard. And the reason why I don't want to think very hard is because of the next piece that I'm going to show you, which has so much progress on it. I am very, 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 very pleased with how far I've come on it. But it is also so confetti heavy. I didn't realize this when I started it, but it is awful how much confetti. It's like so much confetti. So if you've been following around for a while, you know that I did do the Heaven and Earth design sale. And I did it for Paradiso, which is a black and white, which I thought would, like, it doesn't have very many colors. It's a decent size. But that'll be something fun to do. We'll see how I can get. So it's supposed to end up, like, in order to get all of the charts that were included in this one, you need to finish 6 pages, I want to say. 6 full pages, which is up from last year's 4 full pages, which I don't like. That seems... maybe they were giving away to me. But really, like, 6 pages is a lot of stitching. So there's that. But I kind of fell off the wagon when I was doing it. I also started in... so this is kind of my first Heaven and Earth design. I have one other one that I've started, but I haven't really done anything with it. So this is the first one that I've really focused on. And I figured out that I don't really care about starting in the corner. I want... if I'm going to do something like this, I want to have chunks of things that are like all the same that I can do and get like some of the picture in it. I need at least a little bit of incentive. And some wins with like some large areas of block stitching, because the block stitching helps make up for the awful confetti that happens with these designs. So it requires much thinking. So I had gotten, well, I'd gotten this started, which is not completed. So most of one page done. And then I was like, okay, I hit a block because of how I was doing it. I was doing like 1 or 2 strands in a color, not totally completing the color, just doing part of it. Which worked for a little bit, but then I started like losing things. So I was having problems like figuring out where I was, what needs to be done, etc. So a good chunk of this stuff is done, but there's still areas that doesn't have anything. So I was like, okay, I need a win. I need something with a lot more block stitching and not quite as much confetti, or an area that has a little bit more block. And we're going to switch up how we do it. So that led to this circle, which is the first one that I did. I found that I liked completing it. I like doing it in chunks. So I don't like a scroll frame or a Q snap and having a large, like most of it all there and you do it. Nah. We're going to take it in smaller chunks. We're going to get smaller wins. And pages are not for me. This is my back. We have a lot of cross country. We do all the cross country in the hoop. All the cross country. Cross country is great. Because what I've been doing is color completing. That is how I'm keeping track, and it is helping out a lot. So I color completed doing a bunch of cross country, and I managed to get that one done. I was like, okay, I can do this. We can get another hoop done, because that got like 1.5 page. Well, it's not quite 1 page because I have like a fraction of it that didn't fit in the hoop because I'm completing by hoop. But I have enough of it done that like what I would need to do to finish off the pages, maybe 200, 250 stitches. It's not that much. I mean, considering that. So I got that one done. So we got the second hoop done. I got a second hoop done. I know. So I have now, well, because of this, I have obviously the top corner. So I have a top and I have one side that I have reached. With my 2 hoops, I then put in the last, got down as far as I needed to for this one, and I have now reached the bottom. So we have enough stitching that we have top to bottom done. And I have my large block stitching that was worth it so that I can now slog through the rest of the confetti that is around it. And you can see, like, so much confetti! So much confetti! Let's see. what else? What shall I say about it? It is a 20 count. I'm doing it a 10th stitch. I'm doing 3 strands over 1 10th stitch on this 20 count. I did have, so I printed it out, and I don't use technology to do my patterns. I do it all paper. I prefer paper patterns. Yay! So if I have a digital pattern, I do tend to print it out and then do it off of the printed out digital, or the printed out pattern. I don't stitch from non-paper. Similar to like knitting, most of the time I knit off of a printed out paper pattern so that I can mark it and cross off things as I'm going along. I just find it a lot easier. It makes more sense to me. Similarly, if I'm taking notes, a lot of times I will write my notes. I do it in cross stitch. I do it in cursive, not in cross stitch. Cross stitch would take a very long time to get any type of note done. So for my classes, when I was taking classes, and now like sermons and Bible meetings and lessons, I will write it in cursive. Cursive is fast enough, I can grab everything, but like that tactile is important to me. The screen is not important to me. Tactile is. So there's that. So I print it off and I mark it off. So I have percentages, who knows? I have most of 1, 2, 3 pages done with like half of 2 pages and like 3/4 of another page. I don't know. And then there's like almost all of that one. Yeah, it's a weird weird how you go about it, because like this, I think up like that line there is a page, and then there to there is maybe a page with like this little bit sticking out here that didn't get stitched, something like that. Anyways, side note, tangenties. While I was doing it, right, so I printed out, this is why I got off on that side tangent. So we printed out and then I highlighted. There have been multiple times when I've fallen asleep while doing it, and I didn't cap my highlighter. So we had one slight panic time. It's faded out a lot. And oh, there it is. Here's the pinky. It get covered. So it is full coverage, which thank goodness it's going to all be covered. But I did want to try and get out at least some of it, because this is a light on top of like there's a bunch of white. So I wasn't sure how much it was going to cover it and how well it would cover it. So I did want to try and get out as much as I could. Actually, the alcohol. So I had some isopropyl alcohol. The Tide pen did not work at all. Stain remover, no. Isopropyl alcohol actually worked really well. Only problem was that it did bleed a little bit. I was very lucky, very, very, very lucky in that it didn't hit, like what I was working on did not get any highlighter on it. Made me very happy. I had a slight panic attack moment. That was so much fun. So because of that, it took away all of my lines. So this is a gridded fabric. It's very nicely gridded. I really, really like it. This particular fabric. We'll probably get some more for when I'm doing any type of full coverage, because it's printed really well, like on the line instead of being on either the first or the last square. I do like the size 20. It's kind of the right size for me. Let's 10th stitch 3, it makes it a very, very, very firm. Like, look at how light, and then, yeah. So 3 strands does use up a lot, but I do like how the 10th stitch is looking on this. It, very nice coverage. And I don't think you can really see anything behind it. So yes, really do like this fabric. This is a really nice one. I don't know where I got it. I'd have to look at, I got ordered off of an Etsy shop. Because I knew the 25 wasn't my favorite. 25 was a little bit too small for what I wanted to do. So, because 25 was too small, we went up to a 20. Yes, so here's where I am. Hopefully by the next time you see this, I will have moved my hoop. And we will be moving it this way, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna move it this way. So that, because that'll be technically my first full page finish. So after this full page finish, we'll move it over and we'll go up the side, and hopefully that should get me most of the pages that I need. If I can go up the side. I mean, it'd be really cool if I could finish the whole thing, but I don't know if I can. I would like to get the 6 pages though. So, this has gotten a lot of work, if you can't tell. There's so much compared to what it was when we last talked, because I have worked on it a lot. But because it is so stinking confetti heavy, that is why I have like these small other side ones that aren't. They're normal projects. Yeah, I like a good block stitch. I really do. So I think I have only a couple more things to show you. I have one that I've worked on that I think I'm at the beading stage for, which is exciting. This is fun. Yes, I am at the beading stage on this one. So this is Huey. He goes with Violet. He is all cross-stitched now, so the only thing that needs to happen with him is he needs beads. So Huey needs to be beaded, but Huey is coming along quite well. Go Huey. So Huey, Dewey and the Wee. Huey is going to go over there. And then I have 2 more projects. Yeah. So this next one has been a hot minute since I've shown it, but Miss Evanora, oh, my lovely. Miss Evenora got her hoop moved. Look at her. So we've gotten the front part of her hat done, so we're gonna get the tip of her hat finished. Here, we'll get this stuff done, and then we'll move the hoop down again, and we'll get kind of the back and then the front done. But I've got a good chunk of her done. She is moving along pretty nicely now. Also, dark fabric, not great to work on, except with really good lighting. But yeah, she looks so good. And I have the Karen Water Lily put in there. I will have to go through and do, I'm gonna do gonna do my beading and backstitch later. I will probably need a scroll frame for it. So I have one that I'm gonna put something else on at some point. I do have another one that'll work. I'll need to figure out how I'm gonna put her on here, but I do have another scroll frame. So, scroll frame for her for beading and back, but she's got a good chunk done. And then that leads to my final project, and the one that has so much progress, I think, since the last time you saw it, because I work on this mostly every Friday, or at least every time that I go to the stitching group. So my long dog has reached the bottom. It has reached the side. We're getting real close to reaching the top on this guy. So it is mostly monochromatic. There's a couple of glints. You should be able to see some glints of my other color, but let me show you how I've got it. Look at how much I've done on it already. I know. So I have 2 bottom pages totally done, and we're started on the top page. I'm getting close to being done with this page. It needs to go up 1 and over a little bit, and then this page will be done, and then it'll just be 1, 2, 3 pages essentially left. So this is Fish and Ships by Long Dog, and it is on a banana oil fabric, which isn't it gorgeous? It's lovely. Which makes the monochromatic. So I use this one at Stitch Group because monochromatic stitching is great for Stitch Group. It only really involves counting, and only counting a little bit. A lot of times you can just count off of something else. Unlike regular stitching that I do, or that confetti heavy horrible thing that, yeah, I listen to audiobooks when I do the confetti one. I don't watch things. Hence why I haven't been watching as much FlossTube, so it's only been this week that I've watched any YouTube, and it wasn't actually FlossTube, it was a couple of other things that I've been watching. We'll talk about that later. So, this is great for Stitch Group because you talk with other people, and because you're talking with other people, you want something that is not hard to do. Yes. So this is fairly simple to do. A lot of work, but simple-ish, mostly. So, yeah, since I last talked to you, I don't remember where I was. I think I might have been down here. So we finished this section. We've almost got the main triangle done. We got our ship and our fish with the bubbles up the side. They make the border, which is so much fun. We got a crab. And we have the dog on the other big ship that we've got here, like a Dutch ship, and we've got the flag finished. We've started the lighthouse. Let's see if I can find one of those pops of it. So this is mostly done in, I believe, white. DMC white. Should be white. Let me check. It's either white or acrylic. Oh, it's acrylic. I'm doing it in DMC acrylic on this lovely banana oil fabric. So except for some slight pops, there we go. So this is the DMC Diamante. It is sparkly. So like the moon and the star motif. Pretty much most of the back stitching I'm doing in that. Then there's like these random butterflies that you can find. Like teeny tiny ones, like right here. Right there in the center. That one. So anything that's kind of odd or like a little bit, like the little fun things, fun little minor things, I'm doing those in the DMC Diamante. It's a silver, so it's not that different, right? You looking far away, you can't really tell, but when you look up or a little bit closer, you can see a little bit more. It adds a little bit of fun to it. So yeah, I only have like 4 or 5 things. Most of it is DMC acrylic because this fabric is amazing and it doesn't need, like, the fabric shines into the fabric with this wonderful, wonderful design. Yeah. Yeah. So we're working our way up. We should be hitting the top pretty soon. I need to fill out, once I fill this hoop, I think we will get up to the top of the design. It's close. I'm really close, and I'm really happy with how much progress I've made. Because it's been, I don't know, about a year since I started this. So we'll see how long it takes me to get through it. But that is my final project. Yay! It's taken about an hour. My usual. So it is October, so November's coming up. I will have many more projects to talk about because I do plan on doing November. This is going to be so much fun. I've got to find where all those projects are. And hopefully, well, we'll see. I know I had more Mirabilias than there are days in May, so we'll see if I have more than 30 Nora projects. I know I finished a minimum of 2. Because I finished Poppy, and I finished Rococo. I don't know if I finished anything else. I'll work on Evanora, obviously. But I don't know. I'll have to see. We'll see how many Noras I have ongoing. Fun. Anyways, so if I don't have enough for all 30 days of November, I will start more. That'll be fun. And if I do have enough for all, if I have more than enough, we'll try and work on all of the ones that I have. So I want to work on all of the ones that I have currently started. If able, it'd be also nice to start some if I don't have all 30 days. But that is next week's problem, not this week's problem. Okay, so we've talked about most things. Plans, things that I would like to do. I do need to come up with gifts for the kiddos, because there are many. My cousins have several kids, multiple kids. I'm thinking that I'll do a bag for them, maybe? Like a drawstring bag for all the kitties. Do it out of canvas and maybe put like their initial on it so that they have a personalized bag that they can put their stuff in. Because it's always fun to have like something that's mine. This is my thing. Because I did blankets last year, so I think I'll do drawstring bags this year for them. Seems like a good idea. Right? Yeah. Which I think is going to involve me having, well, I'm going to be doing some sewing obviously for it, because I will have to sew the bags together, but I'm thinking that I might also need to get a riveter, because for the hole at the bottom, right, so that you have your cord for your drawstring bag has to go through it. I think the hole at the bottom I'm going to need a rivet there, which will be interesting. I haven't ever used a riveter before. So, fun things. I am going to be making more Graym guards. If you're interested in the, like, any of the products that you've, any of the things that I made at the very beginning that you've seen that were made by me, I plan on taking some pictures and uploading things onto Etsy, Turnbull's Threads, if you're interested in that. I'm I do want to try and make a couple of project bags. Depending on how that goes, I might start making some of those as well. We'll see. That'll be fun. Also something that I'll probably sell at our local needlework store. Yeah. So those plans. I do have a test knit that finally got a pattern like a year later. I need to start that up again. That'll be fun. Test knit. I'm like, my major plan is to work on that Heaven and Earth Sal, because I really would like to try and get the 6 pages done. And I'm getting pretty close to finishing 3. Not a ton of pages, 3 pages. But considering that I really only started seriously working on it in August, so August, September, October, it's like a page a month. November, December. So, kind of need to up it. But that is like 3 full pages with like 3 half pages in that amount of time as well. So I should be able to get 6 pages, hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. I want to get 6 pages done if I can. So if I can get to the bottom, move over and work my way up, I should have that 6 pages complete. I don't know that I will totally finish the entire thing. That I don't think I'll be able to do, but 6 pages I think I can get done. And then if I don't finish it, then I'll gradually work my way and finish it out. Because I do want to finish that. It's a really neat pattern. Horribly confetti heavy. Hate how much confetti there is, but neat pattern. That I'm gonna work on. Oh, I did get some lobster clasps. I am going to make some scissor fobs that will actually fit on scissors and not be zipper pulls instead. So scissor fobs, that'll be something that I will see about selling. And I think that's all of my plans. Talk a little bit about personal life. Well, obviously haven't been doing as much floss tube watching as I have in the past, so I have no recommendations because I really haven't been doing any of it. I did go to the Fall Harvest thing by Lindy Stitches, online event by Lindy Stitches. Really enjoyed it. I do plan on billing at the Jingle Ball. That'll be fun. They're really great retreats because I don't have to leave my home and they're relatively cost effective. Unlike real retreats, which don't have that. But because of the Heaven and Earth Sal, I have not been watching as much floss tube as I normally would. Been listening to a lot of books. Really good. Started another epic fantasy that my sister got me the actual book for a little while ago, and I have enjoyed it. It reminds me a lot of Brandon Sanderson's writing, so enjoyed that, but it is a slog, so I need to intersperse it with some easy reads as well. Because, yeah, that's how I do with things. I don't think I have anything else. I have a lot of things to work on in the upcoming months. Also, would like to do some organizing and putting things in various things. So making the project bags is actually something that I would really like to do, because then I can put things in things and they will be together and not randomly in all kinds of different places. So with that, it's turning fall. So it's getting colder, so I'm probably going to have some more knitting projects as we go along. Like, I have that one sweater, and I would really like to work on a couple of my knitting projects as well. That'll be fun. I mean, I have a whole blanket that I need to do that has much things to do with it. Yeah. And I would like to get that. I have a quilt that needs to get stitched. I need to finish up the stitching for it. And some Swedish weaving to do. So many things, so many crafts, so much that you will get to see in the future, right? Oh, the whip parade. Oof, that's gonna be so much fun at the end of the year. Yee. So many whips. If you want to see all of the things, just wait until the end of the year. And then I will get to show you all of the things. So many things. Anyways, so now that that's done, I hope you're having a good day, and we'll have a good weekend, good week, good month. Enjoy what you're doing, and I hope to see you relatively soon. Let's not have another 2-month break because I can't remember everything that I've done or if there's anything that I need to talk about. Oops. Well, with that, I'm going to sign off. Slightly longer, but not too much longer than my usual videos, so hope you enjoy, and we'll see you hopefully soon. Bye!